This is totally off the cuff.
It's a planned, unplanned event, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I still don't have the notification on my phone.
Yeah, you know, I have a
Oh,
notification.
there it is.
Which page? Because it should
Clark
be.
Tent. You went from Clark Tent?
I went from both.
Oh, okay.
See, look at it. See,
Oh,
all
now
the
we got
noise
words.
is all up. You know what I mean?
Uh,
We got words. A closed caption.
Wait, why is it?
Because that's cold. Because that's how we get out. Thank you guys for tuning in. We got a special show today. We're gonna acknowledge a few little topics, a few little things that's scripted, unscripted, because we kind of threw this together um, on time at the last minute, huh? Thank you guys for tuning in. It's your motivational speaker, your empowerment coach, your author, your favorite baker's favorite baker, Coach Clee, coming at you. I got a special announcement today, but I want you guys to understand that this will still be interactive. There's about a 5 to 10 second delay. We are on a different device today. We're not on Zoom, so I will not get the alerts. So I will be dependent on what Shayla can see from her phone. So the comments that you keep your comments coming in, I will answer afterwards. But there's about a 5 to 10 second delay. And if you want to hear your name and that shout out, put your name and where you're from in the comment section, and I will give you that shout out. Okay? Got no special guests. Most of you already know you're not a special guest. You're a
I'm special. How you gonna say that?
You're not a guest.
I mean, I'm not.
You're not a special
All right,
guest.
a special.
I was getting there, but I got cut off.
Sorry.
See, that's what happens. On edge for no reason.
I'm not on edge.
This is why. This is why I got
Those
a special.
of you that have been here before the live, you know what happens before the live. Coach Clee gets a little. I don't know if it's
I like
nerves,
perfection. I like
anxiety.
perfection.
What happens?
I like
but
perfection.
it gets a little crazy.
But then when perfection
See,
doesn't happen,
the person who doesn't like people to talk over me keeps on talking
that's
over
right.
me.
'Cause I wasn't done with giving you your accolades.
I just have to tell people what happens
You have
that
to.
don't know.
You have to.
Because it's quite the experience.
It's
So,
not an
you know,
experience.
if you're interested in coming on the show, let us know, because the pre-show stuff is always an exciting time, that half hour before, especially when we're able to open
Interesting.
things
The half
back
hour
up and-
before, huh? The half hour.
I
or
wasn't
the
here
12
half hour.
minutes
I didn't
before.
have to be here half hour early.
Okay, well, you know, what was I saying? I got a special co-host right now.
Thank you. Thank
don't
you
know
for
what
the
that-
Happy
she just
Mother's
hit me?
Day, Justin Doyle.
Oh, okay, thanks. Wow.
It's on here. That's what it said.
What's up? How you doing today? I didn't even finish the intro yet, you know?
Sorry,
and
go
I
ahead.
was getting to the Happy
You
Mother's
may
Day,
start
but
now.
I can start. We're like 3 minutes in, but I can start. I already said Coach Clee coming at you as the motivational speaker and empowerment coach. Also, let everyone know that the comments are about 5 to 10 seconds delayed.
You did.
You have all the comments. I cannot see them because I'm on a device where we're streaming from Coach Clee. We're streaming from Clark Tent, and we are currently streaming on YouTube right now. But first and foremost, I need to know what the energy levels are. I need to know what the energy levels are like. So if you had a good day today, I need you to put a 1 in the comment section. Put a 1 in the comment section if you had a good day today. And I know you already know the rules, and I know you already know what I'm about to say, that I don't believe in bad days. Sometimes they get a little tested. But, you know, I don't believe in bad days. I like to call them character building days, and they are character building days. If you had a character building day, I need you to put a 2. Looks like a peace sign. Put a 2 in the comment section if you had a character building day. Put a 2 in the comment section if you had a character building day. And if you had what I always love to have, but we don't always have them, which is an outstanding day. You know, it's the type of day where it's perfect. It's kind of day where the character building days are necessary because they make you appreciate the outstanding days that much more better.
Yes.
You usually put a 0 in that chumpy. Put a 0 in the comment section if you had an outstanding day. Put a 0 in the comment section. It's kind of like just a bubble, and you're right there.
And nothing can penetrate that bubble?
She just penetrated it. Oh, you
That was
did?
weird.
Yeah,
Okay.
well, you want to know what else is weird? Guess what? For the first time in a long time, I'm putting a 2 in the comment section at the end of this live because this is a character building day. It can change possibly.
Yeah.
I might change it during the end of this live, but I'm going to put it 2. What are you going to put at the end of this live?
I'm going to put a 0. It's been a really good day. I've had a great Mother's Day. You know, I mentioned before that, you know, a couple of years back, I made Mother's Day breakfast for someone else. But today I had breakfast made for me. So it just started off well. It's
Brunch.
going well. Oh, brunch. Sorry.
It was actually Leonard.
Okay. This is what I mean. This is what I deal with, guys. But anyway, it's been a good day. It's been a really good day. Blessed to be a mom, and got to spend some time with my mom, my Nana, and so it's been a good day.
Good. I'm happy to hear it. I want to give a shout out real quick to all the mothers that are out there celebrating Mother's Day. My grandmother, my mom, my sisters, and one of my sisters is her birthday today. Happy birthday, Sonia. My kid's mother. To you, I've already said that, but I'll say that on camera. And any other mother that I have overlooked or missed, trust me, I want to say Happy Mother's Day to you. You are truly appreciated. And anyone on this live that's celebrating Mother's Day right now, we got a couple special announcements, and we're gonna have a lot of fun right now.
I'm gonna say Happy Mother's Day to those that I want to.
Yeah,
so first and foremost, my mom, my stepmom, my nana, my grandmother, a lot of different mothers in my life, my sister, my cousins, my aunt. So anybody, we've even celebrated those that have 4-legged children. So anybody that's a mother out there, whether it is, whatever it is, if there's somebody you take care of, just Happy Mother's Day. I think mothers always need to be celebrated, right?
Yeah, I think so too. Honestly, with the way you said it, it sounds like it should be Mother's Day every day.
It should be.
Yeah. I think it should be Humanity's Day every day.
There we go.
I'm serious.
Just let the mothers celebrate their moment.
I'm not trying to take away from anyone's moment. I'm not. You know what? Thank you for tuning in tonight. We are on, like I said, the Facebook Coach Clee page and Clark 10. If you haven't already liked the Coach Clee page, go ahead and like that thumbs up real quick. We're also streaming on YouTube under the same name, Coach Clee. If you haven't already subscribed to the YouTube page, make sure you do that. It's under the same name. I just said that, under the same name, Coach Clee. But at the end of this, I tried to put it in the header, but I can't do it right now because there was very last minute technical difficulties where I couldn't get everything arranged on time. But at the end of this live, check above, all right? The website, workwithclee.com, it will be on the heading above. I'm fumbling over my words because I'm looking at what you're doing too. Workwithclee.com, on that website you will see a bunch of different things. First and foremost, March 4th, it's a motivational empowerment book on finding your own breakthrough. It's my first book, the book I wrote about 2 years ago. We talk about toxic people, toxic situations. We talk about taking care of yourself. We talk about eating healthily. We talk about having courage. We talk about stepping out on faith. So many wonderful tips in this book that you will actually, once you complete this book, you'll have a better outlook on life. So check that out. That's on the website, workwithclee.com. Also on the website, No Shade, All Light, Jason Brown, Herb Thompson, Clarence Stokes, and myself, we co-authored this book. It's 25 of our favorite quotes and what they mean to us. So there's over 100 quotes in this book with meaning. In this book, No Shade, All Light. Also, no longer on the website is the Coach Clee apparel, but inbox me, text me, get a hold of me. If you're looking for something, I got a full arsenal of clothing, whether it's summer or fall. We got short sleeve, long sleeve hoodies, jackets, bunch of different things. Hats are on there, and Stark is also on the website. We'll talk about this a little later. If you want your Stark alkaline water, I've got a couple samples out there this past week, and a couple people bought a couple cases. It's delicious, and especially now that it's starting to warm up. But I'll definitely explain what the Stark water is. But I'm going to throw it your way. Like if we were breakdancing, it would be like, your turn.
Boom. I'm going to go over a couple of our sponsors for the month of May. It's hard to believe we're in the month of May.
We are in the month of May.
As I've said previously, and I will continue saying, please make sure you support small businesses out there. Some of them don't have services right now. Others do, and others are also being unique in the way that they are selling their business or their products or whatever it is. So make sure you support small business. Will always be a supporter of small business. The first one I want to mention is Hooper Memorial Home Incorporated. They serve families in need of pre-planning, funeral services, and also cremation services. They're located at 3532 Walnut Street in Harrisburg and can be reached by phone at 717-651-1000. And the next shout out I have is for Paul Hood. Paul Hood's newest novella, Paths, The Diary of Bain Adams, has created a literacy crawlspace into the psyche of his protagonist, Bain Adams. This twisty-turny story allows startling visual scenes of New York City and brings them to life. No spoilers here. I can't speak. I'm stuttering too. Just know that Paul's writing is likened to the tagline from Maxwell Coffee. It's good until the last page. And that is, I like that tagline a lot.
Yeah.
I do. Yeah. So make sure you go out and support Paul Hood and his new novella coming out. and then also Hooper Memorial Home Incorporated as well.
Absolutely. Good job. You did a wonderful job with those
Thank
sponsors.
you.
You sound like a traditional news anchor.
You know, I'm working on it.
So, since you have the comments, you want to give any shout outs to anyone that's on right now? Because I can't do it. I can't.
Anymore.
Huh?
Good. I already shouted it out.
Okay. My bad. My bad. Wow. She just really said that on
I
the
just
breath.
said,
Ani Branch is on. Thank you for tuning in. Please tag, like, and share. Thank you.
Hey, Ani, happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day to you. Good morning. Good morning. Absolutely. She knows what I'm talking about. This is we kind of like an ad lib show right now, but realistically speaking, this stark alkaline water, because you said a lot and I said a lot, and I'm gonna take a sip of this. You want to take some?
This is like my third time trying to open it.
You can open it? Oh, because you got cut off doing some other things.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
All right, you don't have to drink the whole bottle.
Yes, I do. I'm dehydrated. That's what happens. Why don't you? What does stark water taste like to you?
I agree with whoever. Whenever somebody said it's like I think you say it too. It's just a fresher version of water.
Mm-hmm.
I think it goes down pretty smooth. I think I do like it room temperature or cold. Just depends on when I'm drinking it, but I will drink it room temperature just as much as I'll drink it cold. I also think it's good for your body. I noticed changes and differences in my body and just how I was feeling in general when I was drinking like 4 to 6 bottles a day. When you had those challenges and stuff like that you're doing, because I'm super competitive, so I needed to get them in. But I think I don't know, I enjoy a lot of Stark products. I enjoy especially the orange energy drink, which is my favorite. So I'll drink that. I think it's a nice light, crisp drink, and gives me that natural kind of energy of what I need. But yeah, that's what I enjoy Stark products.
Good.
Yeah.
It's good that you said that, because Stark alkaline water helps neutralize the acid in your body. And the more acid your body has, the more disease prone that your body is, actually. To the common cold, to flus, to viruses, to cancer, so many different things thrive in an acidic body. If you neutralize the acid in your body, then you become hydrated, you become healthier, your digestive system works properly. You become, some people just call it the wrong times. The digestive system works properly. You lose weight, you sleep well, so many wonderful things. Plus, it's like a fresh version of water. It tastes delicious. It's pretty good. It's a good version of water. And like I said before, that is also on the website. If you want to sample some, let me know. If you want to get some, check out the website, workwithclee.com, where that's available for purchase.
Just a quick shout out. Ani said good morning and thank you for the Happy Mother's Day. Appreciate that.
Absolutely.
And just Gwendolyn Weaver Carter is on. Happy Mother's Day to you.
Happy Mother's Day.
Yeah.
Good. I'm glad you're on that. I got a special announcement. What?
What's your announcement?
What? I'm excited. I'm excited to bring this announcement today. I'm excited that what?
You're not coming off excited. I need you to have some more energy. Come on, let's get that 2 to a 0.
Sometimes
You're just like I'm excited.
I am excited. I'm excited.
That's better. See.
See, I try so hard. I really do. I try. I am excited though. I am excited. I know it may not sound like it, but I am excited because yesterday, what came in the mail, and it came in the mail very early, and we completed a project that we've been working on for a long time. Now, I forget how long, but we were working on it in segments, and we take a break and then work on it in segments, and then we finally buckled down and got things done. And I want to give a shout out to Fernando Lyons. He was a guest on the show back in December. He's the guy who does artistry and comic books and so many different things. He designed the cover of this book. This is my 3rd book out here now. We're talking about, hashtag grudge. We live in a hashtag society. And so if anyone has any hashtag grudges, this is the book. It's a mini book, but it's packed with a lot of good information on there. But Fernando did the cover to this book right here. And this book, we talk about this 10 tips to LIG. And that's a subtitle. And I picked that because LIG is to let it go. 10 tips to let it go. Sometimes you just got to let some things go. You have to to better yourself, to be healthier. But I know for me, holding on to a grudge for a long period of time isn't beneficial to anybody, especially myself. And sometimes you don't even know it until you actually hit rock bottom, or go talk to a counselor and realize that you're holding on to things that you no longer need to hold on to. Once you LIG it and let it go, you become liberated, and you see how free life is, and you find it helps you find your hidden purpose. It helps you become who you're designed to be. If you're holding on to grudges, if you're holding on to anger, if you have unforgiveness in your heart, if you actually are waiting for that proper due apology from someone or a certain situation that you're not going to get, you have to learn how to move on without getting the apology you so deserve. And we talk about that in this book. And this copies came out to all those who pre-purchased the book. I appreciate each and every one of you. You are all will be a part of this book. Like I said, I don't want to give too much away right now. On the cover of that, we got everyone who pre-purchased the book is inside the book. Your name is inside the book. All pre-purchases are inside this book. That's how it was very special. Yep. It's came a long way since March 4th. It looks good.
Yes.
It's very organized. It's a very nice looking book on the interior.
Yes.
I like it a lot. Don't you agree?
Page numbers.
I wasn't going to say that, but you put it out.
I did. That was important to me.
That was important to me too, because not knowing the very first book, I assumed that once you go to print, the page numbers would automatically be put in there. But I didn't know that's something I had to do. That was a learning curve. And I purposely didn't update March 4th from some of the grammatical errors or the page numbers on purpose, just to show, because I know other books would be coming, just to show the growth. And so to make myself more vulnerable, to show that I too did not know how to do certain things in the beginning, and I learned along the way.
And that's, I think, important to say, is that it's, not perfect the first time, and there could be something wrong too with this one as well. But I think it's, as long as you're still moving forward and continuing to publish books and write and things like that, I think it's important, and each time getting better. Mm-hmm. And I think it's, I think we took the time, or there was a time taken, this is not my book, it's your book, but there was time taken to get the, editing done a little bit differently, maybe investing a little bit more in yourself and in the book to get a better product. And then even formatting and things like that, I think just working through those steps. And we also sat through some really good seminars as well that I think gave tips and tricks and just, sometimes I'm not a person who is into, like, let's do this, let's do that virtual conference, let's do that virtual thing. I like to learn, but I just get skeptical about it, especially when there's a cost to it and I'm just not sure. But I think sitting through one of them that was more recent than, a long time ago, I think that really just sparked a lot of really good ideas and things like that. So it was a day of, it was during quarantine, so it was a day of time well spent. It was a long day. Yeah, it was.
It carried over.
It was
But
long,
it was a good carryover.
but lots of good information. So I think that's, a positive about that as well. But just talking about and I know you touched on this a little bit, because we all have grudges. We all need to let things go. But just a little bit about the inspiration behind #Grudge. How long has this been in the making?
It's been in the making roughly. That's a $100 question right there, because it's been in the making my whole life, or maybe in my teen years, or maybe 3 years, or maybe at the completion of this book. And when I say that, I say it's a whole life experience. But I didn't know that I would actually be putting this whole life experience into a book until actually when I did March 4th. Like we talked about, if any of you have the bookmark to March 4th, the company that I use, they said, if you use the front and back of the bookmark, it's the same price as just doing it if you just use the front and front only. So on the back, I put something on there, which originally was going to be my second book, and that was going to be the book cover of that second book. But I have a board of directors who decided against it, and they went against it very harshly too. And so getting away from that, but that's where, once the first March 4th was completed, that's where the second book came into play, because I was like, that's where I came to the healing process of letting certain things go. Les Brown always says, and I quote it from this book, that holding on to a grudge or anger is like holding on to a hot coal expecting somebody else to get burnt. If you just let it go, you start the healing process. And once you start the healing process, you heal up and you're able to use that hand again. And I like that. Like I was talking about, this book, read a little excerpt.
So While you're looking for your excerpt, you talked about, I know it's been your whole lifetime, but like actual, how long would you say you were jotting down the notes? You were doing that. How long has that been for this book? I'm assuming it hasn't been your whole lifetime, but how many like years, I guess, go back?
Maybe 3, about the same amount of time that I've been doing these lives or lives with guests. So during that process, you start getting ideas or you start picking up inspiration from other guests, and you just write a little tip here, write a little tip there, things you learn along the way, or things that I've looked up where I've done inspirational lives, and I would get good feedback, and then I would start applying that feedback into my life, and then seeing the results, the fruition of those seeds that were planted.
Very good. Okay.
Good.
Thanks.
Good. You know, on page 1, you know, you might as well start with the first page, right? The gift of anger. The axe forget, but the tree remembers. That's an old African proverb right there. And in the introduction, have you ever wondered why anger is so toxic and how you can avoid it? It's a difficult emotion to master. There are a number of reasons for this. Of course, I'm going to go through some of this, the most common areas over the course of this book. You know, that's the first paragraph. I mean, it looks good. Got highlights. The causes of anger we talk about. Moving forward and focus on positivity.
So what can
anger as a tool.
Talking about a little bit of these titles, what do you expect your reader to get out of this exactly?
I expect them to kind of understand what anger, unforgiveness, holding on to grudges, so many different things that you can fill in the blank with. Understand what it is. Understand how detrimental it is to your own emotional and psychological health. And understand how that it is normal, especially in our society, but it's also normal to get over it and live your first place life.
Yeah, but I think sometimes, I mean, I agree with that, but I think sometimes it takes, and you may have talked about this a little bit already, but just time to get over some of those things. You know, sometimes we think we're over them and we're not, and we find that out by maybe something happens and those same thoughts come to our head that maybe made us angry before, or those kinds of things. So I think sometimes it takes a little bit of time to get rid of that true grudge. I think sometimes I'm over something, and like I said, somebody says something, somebody does something, and those feelings come right back. So I think it's, I don't know, I think from my perspective on what I know, I have not read every single page of the book yet. Not yet, very soon. I mean, let's not go back to March 4th, how I still don't have a signed copy of that book. It's only been a couple of years since that's been out.
Before she starts throwing shots.
Sorry, I'm not throwing a shot. I'm just saying I still don't have a signed copy of it.
A shot. But still, it's interesting that you say some of those comments because forgiveness is a process. Yeah. And the process of it is that you have to heal. It's kind of like every day you have to take a shower. Every day you got to find a little forgiveness. Even if it's for the same issue that it was before, the same situation, or for the same purpose, because every day is a new day. Like I said, you have to take a shower every day. You come across, you got to wake up in the morning, go to work when things go back to normal or to whatever new normal, and take a shower, prepare for work. Or if you get done working out, or if you're outside working in the yard, you have to come back in and clean that dirt off of you. So the same analogy applies for forgiveness, because just because you forgive it one day doesn't mean you'll wake up a week from now and not those same emotions or feelings won't hit you, smack you in the face all over again, and you'll have to go through the process again and forgive it all over again. Now, each time that you do it, it does get easier. Mm-hmm. It does get easier, but it's not something that you could just forgive and think that you're going to be done forever. You know, it's the old saying how they say time heals all wounds. I totally disagree with that. I don't think time heals all wounds. I think actively trying to get over or forgive something, time can definitely heal the wound because you're putting it into practice. It's kind of like working out. You build your muscles up. If you don't build your muscles up, if you don't work out, they'll start to atrophy. And when they atrophy, they'll cause more problems, and as opposed to just working out.
Yeah. And thanks to our viewers. I cannot see everybody that is on right now, but I do see. Thanks, Clarence, for tuning in. Please tag, like, and share. And thanks, Linda, for tuning in.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So speaking of signed copies, because she tried to throw shots at me, and you see I didn't throw those back, I figured that the very first edition, the very first copy that came in, you know, I'm just going to go ahead and, who should I make this out to? Who?
The best.
Clee Tillman.
So while you're
Fall so hard.
can
baby.
you multitask while you're doing that?
I'll try.
Oh,
I'll
geez.
try.
So when does this book drop? If we didn't get a pre-sale of the book, we missed out.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
did.
we
yeah,
did.
You did. If you didn't purchase a pre-sale copy of the book, for one, your name's not. They're already printed, so your name's not going to forever be a part of this book. This
But you
living
can
legend.
look at all of the other supporters in there.
There are a couple pages of supporters in here, and you won't. It will not be available to everyone else until June 1st.
So
That
that's
is
the official
online,
date.
and that is with me also, because I only have enough copies. I only got enough for those who already pre-purchased them.
Yeah, and we were hoping to have some type of release. Still trying to figure that stuff out, depending on the status of where we are.
Status of
at
where
that
COVID
point.
is. You got to put
That's
it out.
true. I mean, I think people know that at this point, but I think it just depends on where we are. You know, if we can't do it in person, maybe we'll have to do some kind of virtual party, Zoom,
Yeah,
something
yeah.
like that. You know, I
Yeah,
have a million ideas and things that I have in mind. I haven't
She has
talked
a
about
million
yet.
ideas, but I know there's a couple people that want to, whenever we do something, an event, that want to get on with that event. And I'm
Yep.
looking forward to having those people co-collab and have fun and make that event real special. What was it, 2 years ago, we had the epic event. Yeah, this one, we're going to, evolve so
there.
hard. Yeah, that's not my fault.
It was probably not that.
I'm trying to sign, it was.
I'm just joking.
Wow,
I'm just
what's with all
joking.
these shots?
I tuned in from Florida. I mean, I tuned into your live from Florida when you went live from the event.
Fall so hard, baby.
So yeah, supposed to say the best, but it's okay. It's
I mean,
okay.
I
It's
can't.
okay. It's okay.
I thought
Anyway,
she,
go
I
ahead.
thought she had something to say. Me,
I have more
I'm
questions.
signing.
Come on, let's go.
I'm signing. Oh, well, then we'll do this
You
at
can
the
finish
end.
it, yeah.
Yeah, I thought just gonna say to Shayla, and that's it here.
That's probably all I'll get. So I'll show you guys in another year when all I have is to Shayla. So it's better than I mean, we're marching forth because on March 4th, I have nothing.
No.
Just got the book. Now this one I have to Shayla. We'll see if I get a nice little message like other people get. We'll see. And a picture, because you know Coach Clee always has a picture with somebody. But anyway, moving on. How does it feel to have published and authored and put the work into a third book?
It's a humbling experience. It's an experience. I never thought. I always wanted to be an author. I always wrote things, short stories. I didn't do instructional books until March 4th, of course. But I've been writing since 8th grade. Short stories. Some of them don't really make sense right now, but it was from the heart. It was from my imagination, and I got it out on paper. So to actually have what's in thought to paper to print is a very surreal event for me. I'm looking. I feel.
Go ahead.
I feel very accomplished. I feel excited, and I'm really looking toward seeing how much it positively affects other people in their lives, in their journeys to LIG, in their journeys to get rid of grudges, in their journey to become the better person that they strive to be.
And so if somebody watching had interest, or maybe they have notes written down, they want to write a book, but they think it's impossible, they think they can't do it, or they don't have enough thoughts or anything like that, what would you say to that person?
That it can be done, that it's possible, that wherever there's a will, there's a way. 90% of success is just by showing up or doing the work. Once you do the work, once you get, the hardest part is, I think, getting what's in your head down on paper. And then trying to think that you're not going to make mistakes, because you are. Trying to make it make sense. I'm no English major or anything like that, so trying to find a way to get my thoughts on the paper and make it make sense. And then after it gets on paper, to actually be grammatically correct, punctuation, to have it flow, to make it make sense, and to be effective is a tremendous feat. I didn't do it by myself, and it's kind of like the analogy of eating an elephant. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. So you got to do one thing at a time. How do you start? You start by getting an idea out. You get the first word down, then you get the first sentence down, then you get the first paragraph, and pretty soon you'll have a page. Then you'll have a chapter. After a chapter, you'll have a few chapters, and lo and behold, you'll have a book. Then you take it to an editor, and you'll get it edited and ready for print.
And I think an editor is worth the investment. I said that earlier, but I do. I think you get what you pay. And so I am not a book expert, but I'm particular about things. I'm particular about grammar and spelling and just everything, punctuation.
You said, she says all that because she critiqued March 4th hard.
I wasn't even gonna say that.
I am.
It wasn't hard to critique it hard.
Wow.
No, but I'm just saying. But I was impressed with that. Oh, you wrote a book. Like, that was good to me. And then I think it's, I think they also say to be genuine in your book too, be yourself too. So, I think if you talk a certain way or something like that, let that shine in your book. I do agree with that, but I also think when I'm reading a book, I like to read it and not have to go back and be like, what did they mean by this? Or was there supposed to be I don't know, just something. But I think the editor is one of the most important pieces of it, and I think it has to be somebody that you connect with, that communicates well and things like that. And I'm not going to give away all the information, but I just think that is so important. And it's when I finish or write a book, it will have a good editor, because that'll be important for me. But just wanted to get your thoughts on.
Oh, there's more questions.
Yeah.
I didn't know that she prepared these questions. By the way,
I just took them 2 seconds.
I see.
Anyway. So will the book be eventually on June 1st? Is it going to be available online, in person, all the same things?
It will be available in person, of course. It will be available from the website. Yep. As soon as the website coordinator gets everything uploaded and the link put there, and it will definitely be on Amazon. It will be for sale on Amazon under Coach Cleet Tillman, or the title of the book, #GRUDGE.
Fantastic.
Make sure you guys hashtag that. What?
Nothing. That was just funny. Anyway, so then what's next? Are you working on another book? Are you slowing down a little bit? Are you
slowing down? The training's stopping. No, we're not slowing down. There's a couple projects in the works right now. There's one of the projects is probably 80% done. It's not ready yet, but there will be other projects coming down the pipeline. There's other tasks I'm looking to perform. I don't want to give away all the pearls and gems right now because we're still in the research and formulating process of that. But moving down the line, there are multiple things in the works, and what's excited is that we'll still be going live. I know we've been slacking on the motivational moments. They're a lot of fun, but they're a lot of work to do. I kind of took a step back. Now it makes sense. Hopefully you'll see why it makes sense. Why I took a step back from doing the motivational moments, because I was using that research to put into the book itself, and doing that to put into future projects as well. But the guest list doesn't stop. We're still going live with anyone with a business, product, or positive message, and getting that information out there. And I really do enjoy highlighting other people and their talents, especially their local talents. A lot of us don't know what our own neighbors are doing.
Fantastic. And thank you again to those of you that are tuning in. Please make sure you tag, like, and share the video, and make sure you like the Coach Clee page if you haven't already. So how have you growth from March 4th to #GRUDGE? How have you grown as an individual?
Oh man, I had no preparation for these questions.
None. Sometimes you just gonna be ready to ball so hard.
Nah, that's what I evolved so hard. From March 4th to No Shade All Light. And let me hold these in there. I'll leave it there. To #GRUDGE is right there. 3 books, the growth. I think you can see the evolution throughout each the process throughout each book. But as a person, how have I grown? I think more confidently, more independently. I found the natural burning desire within myself. That fire gets hotter and hotter and makes me want to work toward the goals even more. I truly understand. I listen to Miles Monroe, T.D. Jakes, Eric Thomas, Les Brown. I listen to at least one of them at least one time a day, if not more. Earl Nightingale also. Earl Nightingale is one of my favorites. Napoleon Hill, his books are tremendous. He's got a couple new books that he transcribed some of his books that are out there. That's a wealth of good information, but it leads you to your purpose. And I know that I found my life's purpose, and I'm working toward that goal now. And it's exciting and it's fun. And when you find your life's purpose, you don't get tired. Everything is involved in that purpose. Every aspect of your life is involved in that purpose and building that brand and building that empire. And that's where I'm at right now. It came through from a lot of tragedy. And from my perspective, hitting rock bottom, for most of you who don't know the story, having a companion in your life just leave out somewhat unexpectedly, leaving you in a place of disarray where you kind of had to rebuild who you were, who I was at the time, and to a new person, or actually find out who I was. And finding out who I was throughout the process, becoming at peace with the situation, becoming at peace with myself, and growing through that process. And I've done that through the course of study, through counseling, and a lot of self-help reading books.
And I think a lot of people, just kind of speaking on that, I think some people hit rock bottom and struggle getting out of there, but I think other people just really excel after they've hit rock bottom. I know me myself, when I hit, there's a certain year of my life that I call rock bottom, and I won't share that specific year, but I think from there I've had so much opportunity, growth, and things like that within myself. And it was sitting that, and it was just, hitting that absolute bottom was a struggle for me, because I did not initially think that I was going to get out of that issue and that problem and that low spot of my life. I thought I was going to be stuck there forever, and it was the end for me, and there was no looking ahead. But slowly and slowly, as I went to counseling and things like that too, but as I went through that and I just grew myself, I grew professionally, and I've had a lot of opportunities since then, which I'm grateful for. And I think we have to be grateful for the opportunities that we're given, because not everybody is given the same opportunities. And sometimes it may be something small, but I just am grateful for anything, any opportunity, whether to speak to somebody, some kids, or whatever it is, lead a project, anything like that. I think I'm just grateful for that. And, just being able to finish school was a big goal, and start more school a week ago was just big for me.
Yeah. Congratulations. Happy Mother's Day, Cajon.
This is why he needs a script, because he can't, this is what
I'm surprised. She hit me. I didn't even see her write these questions down. She hit me with these questions. And you have more?
No, I'm done.
Oh, all right. Man, she tried to, I know, because some of them questions were a little invasive and put me on the spot.
They weren't invasive.
They were to
Anything
me.
we don't already
They were
know.
To me. Not
if we read
knows.
March 4th, if you didn't, go get it.
That is on Amazon. Along with both of those first two books are on Amazon.
Website.
Yeah, website too. Yeah. Workwithclee.com, baby.
Anyway, that's all I have.
That's all? I have no. Yeah,
well, you weren't even prepared.
I know I wasn't. Didn't we go down that road?
Yep.
The road of preparation.
How are you feeling? Is it moving to a 1 yet, or are you still at a 2?
Yeah, I think I'm at a 1. I think I have to change that to a 1. I'm feeling, I'm almost at a 0, but I'm still at a 1. I'll be at a 0 when I'm kind of hungry right now. So after this live is over, I'm gonna eat something. So that's when I'll be at a 0. Also hard, baby. But I know you have a couple projects on the pipeline too, and I know you may not be in a position where you want to put all that information out there. But where do you find your inspiration to make it through the day, to be a mother, to be a corporate America, a businesswoman? Where do you find the inspiration to keep moving forward?
Well, it's hard. It is very hard. I will say that for sure. I think it's just my daughter being a role model to her, somebody she's looking up to. I know that I can't stop moving forward, and I can't stop going and doing, even though, and I'll say even this last couple of months where we're stuck at home a little bit more, I think things like that, it does get to the point of all right, I just want to get out of the house, which yeah, we can go for a walk, but how many walks can you go on? And yeah, going to the grocery store, that's the highlight of my life. And so, but being mindful too, because of just everything going on, I think it's just hard. It's hard to balance everything, but I think also with this time at home and just more time at home, it gives me opportunity to kind of reflect on all the things that I am accomplishing. And I'm driven, and I always want to do, I'm always looking to do better. I want to do more. I have personal goals for myself that I want to achieve, and I think it's, I can't just stop them, and especially for the little girl that's looking up at me. She knows I work hard, and I'm working a lot, and whether it's doing something for my actual job or just something at home or something to help her with school or anything like that. I think there's a lot to balance, and it's thinking of things differently now because we're in this different time, and so we have to think outside of the box now. You know, we've got to maybe we can't go see somebody, so we've got to mail the card. We've got to mail the card early enough so it gets to the person on time. And something as simple as that, where I would have normally dropped off the card or given the card, I think just little things like that you have to think a little bit differently about. We even with the Coach Clee show, thinking about how it can still go on and not happen in person, and you can still continue to interview people and things like that. And it's not easy. It's a struggle. It's new technology that we're using. You know, we have this new camera that we have, and then all of a sudden can't use the camera anymore. What are we going to do? Now we got to get out the laptop to see if we can make it work. And
this picture quality that we're on right now is amazing, by the way, compared to the laptop camera.
It is. It is. It definitely is. But we did what we had to do to make it still happen and still go on. But again, that took extra work. One more thing to add to the list of things that already have to, that already has to be done. How are you going to connect with your guests and things like that before? So I think just, I like challenges too, though. So I think there's a lot that motivates me to keep on going, whether it's my daughter or just, challenge, work, whatever it is. I want to continue to do better, and I want everybody to continue to do better. And so I think we can't just stop because we're tired or we're over it or we're having a rough day. We got to hopefully sleep it off and get the energy to come back and do it all again the next day. So hopefully that answered your question.
I don't know if it did or didn't. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
No, he's not. He's telling the truth.
No, I'm I'm having fun.
So did you make a nice Mother's Day dinner?
Nah. I mean, we're in COVID, so, the grocery stores are a little packed and lines are long and ingredients are missing, so no. Nah, it just didn't happen this year.
This year?
Or any other year. I do breakfast. That's what I do.
Yeah.
Breakfast, which turned into dinner for certain individuals.
It wasn't dinner.
Okay, it was lunch dinner.
Anyway.
Dinner.
Whatever.
So no, to answer that question, I hope I answered your question.
OP people do OP things.
No. So I want to before we close, because I'm assuming we're wrapping down, I'm going to give a shout out to you and Jamon, definitely for #GRUDGE, because for one, it wouldn't have got done without the two of you. You guys are labeled as the board of directors. It wouldn't have been this wonderful without the two of you. And I mean, even times when we don't get along, and because I'll put an idea out and they will just rip it apart, and they have no love when it comes to tearing any idea I have down, which I think is a tremendous idea. But I say all that to say it's needed too, because not a group doesn't need a bunch of yes men around. A group needs if it's a total agreement, it needs why is it total agreement, or that reel that's brought to it, or no, I don't like this picture. I don't like this clause. I don't like this sentence or paragraph, and here's why, and here's a better version. And so I'll be in that moment where I'm like, it ain't a better version, but then I'll read it, I'm like, it is actually a better quality version.
And that's a way that I think you've grown since I've met you, is I think he doesn't handle that constructive feedback the best. He will try to, but he struggles at like, oh, they did it better than me, or somebody put it together better than me. He does. Ask Jamon, he does. Anyway, but I think it's a growth. I think you've grown, because I do think there's a change of, like, even the flyers, it would turn into a challenge of who could do the better flyer. When it wasn't even a challenge, it was just like,
everything's competitive.
Let's make it a little bit different or whatever, and then it becomes like, I'm gonna blow them away. I'm just gonna send them this new updated flyer, and it's gonna be amazing. And then we're gonna
see some of the guests that we have. You should see some of the flyers that we had that did not make the cut. Some of them were a little rough from all of our end, not just
Yeah.
And I tend to stick with the same kind of theme, and I get made fun of because I stick with after a while they start to look the same, and I was told that. I'm like, okay, well, watch this ball so hard, I'm gonna come with something new.
Yeah. And William Britton, thank you for tuning in.
Hey,
thank you
Bill, thanks for tuning in. Yes.
Happy Mother's Day to all. Thank you. But speaking of that, there is one of the worst flyers you did. It was so bad that we had to change it while it was already out there. That's all.
What flyer was that?
I'm not gonna say.
I don't remember that.
I have to say people.
Okay. How long ago? Give me.
Probably about a year ago.
You got to tell me.
I think you just shared it with me recently.
Wow. See,
Recently. That could have been 2 months ago.
All right. Thank you guys for tuning in. Is there anything else that you want to cover?
No, just
she says no, but then she has something else to say.
I'm closing out. Just remember, Coach Clee puts on to put on. So if you have a business,
she took the line. You did it good too.
I know, but I forget the next thing. If you have a business, if you have a positive message that you want to put out there, make sure you connect Make sure you connect with Coach Clee, especially as we start to get into this transition of opening it back up. Maybe some of you were at home and your creative juices were flowing and you have a new business to talk about. You have a new product that you're selling. I know spending this time at home wisely is important. Me, myself, not that I want to talk about myself, but I got a Cricut machine, if you know what a Cricut is. And I'm excited because I started making different projects, and I'm very much so a beginner, so I'm still waiting for things to come in because I can't do it all without that. But again, I'm coming out of there with something different that I didn't have going into it. So I hope you are all working on something, whether it's you're writing your book, you're writing notes, you have a business plan that you're working, or your business is already up and running and you have a new product line or a product that's coming out, a new, I had something I was going to say, I totally forgot it. Or an event, maybe you're doing a virtual event and maybe it's not going to be in person. So again, if you have something like that that you want to share with the viewers of the Coach Clee Show, please let us know, because Coach Clee is always looking for somebody to have on the show. The schedule is usually booked a little bit further out, but we would definitely love to get any kind of business, an event, a positive message, product, like we said, get that out there and get some exposure for you. And also, we like to hear about it because we like to support small businesses.
And so to piggyback on that real quick, with everything with the shutdown, having us do this from a different technology, it has also enabled us to do it with having people from out of state or different time zones. So we're able to go live with people who are in a different state and not have to come to the lab and grab your pen and your pad. So I say all that to say, if you're watching and you're from a different state and you have a business, product, or positive message that you want to get out there, inbox me, text me, get a hold of me. I will schedule you an appointment to get you on the show. We will get that information out there, all right? We'll have a lot of fun doing it.
Yeah, and we won't just do that during this time. We'll continue doing that and mixing them in if we need to, because we want to support people here in the Harrisburg area, but also across the nation.
Yeah, good. Congratulations. Got a special guest on Wednesday. I know who the special guest is, so I can't get you with that one.
Sure.
We do have to tune in with this Wednesday. We got a special guest. I posted this flyer, I think, yesterday. Yeah. He's a reschedule. We had to reschedule because everything that happened. But so I'm so excited to get him on the show. He will be Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tune in. We appreciate it. And let me go ahead and finish signing this because I said I would, and I don't feel like hearing it later on. You know what I mean? So can you take care of that exit for me? Why don't you take care of that outro? Take care of the outro.
Well, it's Shayla. It's like, no, joking. Anyway, it's Coach Clee, your motivational speaker, author, and your favorite baker's favorite baker, coming to you live with an amazing co-host. Until Wednesday, we'll be back Wednesday with a special guest. Check it out, because I believe it is a multi-talented local guest that will be sharing with you, and so please make sure you tune in with us. But there's one thing we have to do before we go. If you watch the show, you already know. Oh, that rhymed. Did you hear that?
Yeah, good job.
What do we have to do?
I know what it is. You tell me.
Well, come on. I already know too, but I'm trying to stall so you can sign.
I'm not done yet, so you know what I mean? We'll have to finish this off camera, but thank you guys for tuning in. We love you. Take care. Evolve so hard. Live your life with a purpose. Coach Clee is your motivational speaker, your empowerment coach, your author, and your favorite baker's favorite baker coming at you. We're leaving out of here with one more thing. It's called The Money Dance. Oh!